All right, what's up, everybody? Frank Red joining you live and direct right here in the dungeon on a Sunday night. Oops. On a Friday night. What's up, everybody? Almost out hyped myself. I am so excited to do this show tonight, and I'm going to get into that. It's going to be a fast-paced show to get you set for the weekend, and also to do something that I love to do, which is talk about sports. I was thinking to myself a couple of hours ago, and I was like, well, I'm not going to do a long show tonight. Should I do it, or should I wait until Colorado plays Colorado State, or some of the other things happen this weekend, and do a show on Sunday night? So I'm going to do a show on Sunday night, but there's so much to talk about. There's so much to be thankful for from my perspective that I had to start the process, do the prep work, and ultimately prepare to do what I think is going to be a fast-paced, great show. There's so much to talk about. Obviously, at the top of the sports world, and I can't believe this is happening, is the Colorado Buffaloes, led by Coach Prime Sanders, taking on Colorado State tomorrow night before a national audience. Colorado State will be lucky to be on regional Colorado television on a Saturday night. But because of what Deion Sanders has been able to do by galvanizing a nation in only a couple of weeks, but there was a lot of pre-work leading up to this. People are glued and people are interested in what this man has done. And mix in a little drama, the Colorado State head coach, Jay Norvell, feels like he wants to smoke because, he took some shots at Deion Sanders. Now, did the media build it up to make it larger than it was? Probably. But this is why I wanted to come on, though, because it's actually bigger than that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the coach not only attacked Deion, he low-key dissed his family. When he started talking about how he was raised, you take your hat off and you take your glasses off when you're talking to adults and so on and so forth. You know what? I'm like that. That's how I am. I wouldn't wear glasses inside. I mean, sunglasses or hats, or anything to bring attention to myself. But that's not me, right? And that's not him. And how he does his thing is great, right? But don't take sides. Don't insinuate that one way of being raised is better than the other. Because we don't all start at the same place. We're not all influenced by the same people. He doesn't know Deion Sanders' background. Not at all. And what happens is people start to look at you, and I think the conclusion that many people draw is jealousy, right? Jealousy, and maybe you don't feel as comfortable with yourself. I mean, I'm the product of a teenage mother. My mother had me at 16 years old. She had my sister at 15. My mother worked 16 hours a day, man. I can remember my mother leaving at 6:30 in the morning and coming home at 1:30 in the morning because I never had a room. I always slept in the den, and the den was right by the door. So I knew when she left, and I knew when she came home at night. Very few times were there any parent-teacher conferences. My mother never even saw a report card since I was 13 years old. I just said, Mom, I got this. Don't worry about it. 3 degrees later, bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and some other stuff I don't need to talk about. But that hit home with me because Deion Sanders is he's like Warren Buffett, dude. He's that level of success. And no one saw it coming. Nobody saw it coming. If you say you saw that coming, I need some stocks from you, all right? So I can go put my life savings down on any stock that you say is going to blow up, because no one saw the Deion Sanders experience, the Coach Prime experience coming. He was coaching high school football 5 or 6 years ago, maybe less than that. We know about his exploits as a player. He's extraordinary, one of the greatest athletes in the history of all of sport. But nobody saw the motivator as a coach, the nurturer, the tactician, the excellent football coach. I'm gonna tell you something. Deion Sanders, from the onset, minus all the talk, the first thing that he did was go out and hire and build one of the best coaching staffs in all of college football. And the real OGs knew what the hell was happening. He went to Kent State, and I think it's Kent State, and got Sean Lewis, one of the most creative minds in college football, to be his offensive coordinator. Yeah. So beyond the talk, there's a reason why Shador has thrown for over 900 yards, 7 touchdowns, no INTs. It's the level of coaching that these kids are receiving. Give him credit for that. You know how brilliant that is? To not go out and hire your buddies, from the pros or the college guys you went to school with. No, he said, I'm going to go out and hire the best staff that I can. And whether or not you like how he brought in 80 different players, listen, he didn't break one rule that we know of. Everybody's had the same opportunity to do what he did. You think Notre Dame would be as good as they are without Hartman now, the stud quarterback they got from Wake Forest? I don't think so. I'm gonna ask you this question. What is the difference between Deion Sanders and Steve Ballmer? I'll wait. Nothing. They're the same guy, but they look different. One's a billionaire, billionaire, and one's a guy that people don't like because he's flashy, because he's braggadocious, because he's arrogant. I've come on and said numerous times, if you're not arrogant, you're probably not that you're probably not that successful. Now, I will have people challenge me on that, but I'll tell you that arrogance, everybody is arrogant. Do you allow your arrogance to overcome you? That is the question, and that is the issue. But you gotta have confidence. There's a fine line between arrogance and confidence. We all know this. There's nothing wrong with it. We need to redefine the word arrogant, and we need to redefine the word selfish, because both words can have a positive context, but they don't. Yeah, I'm hyped up. You can tell. I'm Frank Red, everybody. If you don't know who I am, hit me up at Big Frank Red. I guess it's X or Twitter or whatever you feel comfortable using. Just go to at Big Frank Red and follow me and be entertained. All right? Hit me up. Hit the subscribe button at In the Dungeon Show. I'm still getting used to this stuff, and I might put my glasses on from time to time so I can see the small print on my screen. But go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button. I know you're listening on YouTube right now. It is the only medium that we currently use to broadcast this great sports talk and hip hop show, the In the Dungeon Show, with yours truly, Frank Red. So, you got any comments about Colorado and Colorado State tomorrow night before a national audience? Feel free to let me know in the chat. The networks are all in. I've never seen anything like this before. Have you ever seen anything like this before for literally one marginal top 20 team and another team that nobody else cares about? Every network in America, 60 Minutes, is in Boulder, Colorado. What's up with that? I think it's awesome. I'm going to call you my friend, Vicky. Hi, Frank. I thought Deion would be a good coach, but I never thought he would be this successful this early. Deion was a great player. That's the difference. Yeah, Vicky, thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate you. There's a lot of great players who don't become great coaches. I am a coach. I've coached for a long period of time, and I've had success as a coach. I think that, in my success as a coach and as somebody who knows sports, it isn't because of me. It's because I've had tremendous coaching. I've been coached by Hall of Famers, all right? And it's interesting listening to Deion Sanders this morning talking about the coaches that have influenced him. Mickey Andrews, his defensive coordinator at Florida State, a guy he's still in contact with now. Great coaches don't just grow on trees. You have to have some level of exposure to how things can be done successfully. You look at Bill Belichick. Where did he come from? My most influential football mind, Bill Parcells. Sean Payton, Bill Parcells. I challenge anybody to tell me that X person is more influential than Bill Parcells in the game of football. Not in my life. The things that Bill Parcells was doing in the 1980s would still work right now. It's simplistic, but it's physical, it's smart. If Bill Parcells was coaching the Dallas Cowboys, they would have already won a Super Bowl as far as I'm concerned. Because I don't think he would have let Dak Prescott do the things that some of his other coaches have allowed him to do in the past. I don't believe that. So thank you, Vicky. I really appreciate you. All right. San Francisco 49ers take on the LA Rams this weekend on the road. And that's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting for this reason. Not because the Rams will beat the 49ers. It's because I want to see. Thank you, Vicky. I know you're going to say that. And I'm sure I don't know, whomever's listened to the program is also saying, Red, we don't believe you. You need more people. Bill Walsh. Of course. It's kind of a West Coast thing, right? And who can argue with Bill Walsh? Bill Walsh is awesome. And look at his coaching tree. It is phenomenal. But as a New York kid growing up, learning the game of football, having a free agent tryout with the New York Giants, having Bill Parcells talk to a bunch of guys like myself who probably wasn't going to play pro football, but we were out there, was unbelievable. And just watching the game, I think Bill Parcells kind of fits my personality in terms of the coaches that I like. He's kind of a Jim Harbaugh type guy, very simplistic. Football's a very simple game. And I just like his style. Admire Bill Walsh to Mount Everest, man. I mean, that's how much respect I have for him. Thank you. I appreciate you. We haven't had much things to talk about concerning the Golden State Warriors up until the last couple of days. I think they made a sneaky good move. The Golden State Warriors signed Usman Garuba to a two-way contract, former first-round pick of the Houston Rockets. About 6'8", 6'9", real physical, real rugged player. They're going to start talking about this more and more as we lead up to camp, because he's a guy who probably should have a NBA contract. But the fact that you can get him on a two-way, I think is phenomenal, because he's going to make a contribution. They still have a couple open spots. Juan Toscano Anderson is, I guess, a candidate still. And I guess the Warriors are going to kick the tires, if you will, on Dwight Howard next week. I'm not mad at that. I'm really not. I'm not saying that Dwight is going to make the team or he should be on the team, but I'm not mad at that, because the one thing that Dwight does have that the Warriors need, I think, is physicality. And as well as the people in Taiwan treated Dwight, if he had an opportunity to live that lifestyle in the NBA, even as a veteran, making a couple of $1 million a year, sitting on the bench, maybe playing 10 to 12 minutes a game for a team that can possibly win a championship, I think he would like to do that. So, Warrior fans, how do you feel about that? Are you excited? Are you kind of, well, let me wait and see? Or do you think this is the worst thing that Mike Dunleavy Jr. has ever done. And what do you think of Usman Garuba? Have you seen him play? I think he's pretty decent. I saw him play quite a bit when he was on the Rockets, when he played. He also was a member of the Spain FIBA team. So give me your thoughts on that. Alabama, I think, is making a smart move going to Tyler Buchner. Now, he's coming from Notre Dame, a transfer. I haven't seen him play a lot there. But I think that was a smart move because Alabama clearly wasn't going to be able to pass the ball consistently with their starting quarterback, and they needed to make a change. And it's not too late for them to make a run. I actually think that in some ways you can argue that college football is wide open because, yeah, Georgia is the two-time reigning national champion, but they're not a juggernaut. I don't think anybody is at this point. Everybody's trying to feel it out. So you got any thoughts about college football you want to talk about, feel free to give me a call. I kind of got off track because I wanted to talk about the 49ers against the Rams. I saw something on Twitter earlier this week, and someone had put together a list. And the list had Brock Purdy as like the number 7 quarterback in all the NFL. And I think Brock's probably somewhere around 1 through 12, but they had him at 7. And when I think of a top 7 quarterback, a top 7 quarterback should be able to be successful in any organization. That's my definition for a top flight quarterback, a la Tom Brady. Tom Brady was in a very sophisticated, a very rigid system in New England that worked for him. He left there and went to Tampa Bay and won a Super Bowl. Why? Because he's great. That's why, because he's absolutely great. Matthew Stafford of the LA Rams struggled in Detroit, winning games, but everybody knew how good he was. When he got an opportunity to go to a team that was more balanced and had more talent, he won a Super Bowl. So I'm interested in seeing not the battle between Brock Purdy and Matthew Stafford, but I want to see how they do against those two teams because, in my opinion, Brock Purdy is not as good as Matthew Stafford. I mean, come on. I don't think so. Not yet. Give him time. And I think, sometimes fans get caught up in hyperbole and they start reaching. Brock Purdy has been phenomenal. He's fantastic for this offense, but we need to see more. All right? That's all I'm saying. So that's the only thing that really interests me about that game. The 49ers are so much better than the Rams, and they should take care of them whether or not they're playing at Levi Stadium or down in SoFi. They've won 8 straight games, by the way. Christian McCaffrey looks to be, the best running back in all of football right now? I want to see if he can continue. The thing about Christian McCaffrey has been so awesome to watch is he hasn't gotten hurt since he's been with the 49ers. He's played a lot of football, and that was not the case as a member of the Carolina Panthers. So I want to big him up. Also, watching Minnesota play Philadelphia last night, you think Minnesota wants a redo, not re-signing Alvin Cook? I think some of those owners in those private meetings where they, allegedly started to cahoot against signing running backs is coming back to hurt some teams. Because why would you not sign Dalvin Cook if you are Minnesota? Because of his age? He looked like he still got juice playing with the New York Jets. So I thought their team was hurt last night because they didn't have a solid running game, and they basically let Dalvin walk out the door. So I don't get that. In thinking of Philadelphia, I'm not ringing the alarm or anything, but the togetherness and the harmony that Philly played with last year, the Eagles, all the way to the Super Bowl, has to be questioned at this point. I mean, you saw Brown and Hurts on the sideline getting into it, and and the head coach had to intervene between these guys. You wouldn't expect that to happen this early. But when you look at the contract that Jalen Hurts signed, you think that didn't raise a couple of eyebrows within the NFL community and within his own organization? The guy goes from making maybe $1 million a year to signing a $250 million contract, for the most part because of the players around him. The AJ Browns of the world and others. And that's just the business, man. You can't worry about what somebody else is making. I'm sure AJ Brown would say, I don't care about that. But it wasn't a good look last night. So it'll be interesting to see how they evolve. They got a new offensive coordinator, and certainly I think Brian Johnson is excellent. I think he's going to ultimately kind of find himself as the offensive coordinator. Was an excellent quarterback coming out of University of Utah. He's ready for this position. I'll just say that. But early on, it's been a little rocky. But I think Philly's defense, there are some incredible defenses in the NFL. I mean, gosh, give Kirk Cousins a lot of credit because he had to stand in there last night against those monsters. That was crazy. They got an incredible, the top three defensive lines in no particular order, got to be the 49ers, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Philadelphia Eagles. And you know how good the Commanders are. They're really good. That's another game I'm interested in seeing, the Washington Commanders against the Denver Broncos. They get Jerry Jeudy back. A lot of people are hating on Russell Wilson. I don't like the hate, man. I'm interested in seeing if Russell can build on the success that he had last week. So, Aaron Rodgers, he didn't say that he's coming back, but his actions would lead to us thinking that he wants to give it a go, man. I mean, nobody wants to go out like that. After 4 plays, your career, your season, and then your career's over. That's not the Aaron Rodgers that we know. You like him or you don't like him. You can't say the guy's not a competitor. But that's a tough injury, so we'll see what's up with that. I'm rooting for him and the Jets just to come back. I mean, Super Bowl and all that type of stuff, that talk is kind of, that's loony talk right now. But to have him come back and finish his career the way that he should, I'm interested in seeing that. Now, in the meantime, the Jets have a tough game down in Dallas. They play the Dallas Cowboys this week. That is going to be really, really tough. So good luck to them. Going back to the Warriors, have you guys seen that Steph Curry minicamp video that they put up recently of him in Vegas? With, I guess, Trae Young was there, Patinsky was there, their first-round pick, Moses Moody was there, a couple other guys with this trainer. Steph Curry is an alien, man. That dude workout is just crazy. And we all wonder why he is as good as he is. That's why. And there's a lot of great, the other young lady from UConn women's team, I think her name is Buzz. She's under Steph's umbrella, a women's player out of Maryland, a guard. She's really, really good too. She was there. I marvel at the guy's training. It is really unbelievable, and it's a testament to how much he wants to win. And to see him and some of the other big NBA stars give it a go in Paris in the Olympics would be fun to watch also, especially if the Warriors make a nice run towards winning the championship. So NBA is right around the corner, man. I am so excited about that. This is the proverbial sweet spot of the sports calendar. College football is heating up pretty quickly because of University of Colorado and some other stories in college football. The NBA is on the cusp of beginning training camps, and MLB is doing their thing. I mean, I'm a Dusty Baker guy, so I would love to see Houston get in the mix and possibly win again. All right, so I also want to talk about a subject that some of you probably don't care about, but I do. And that's the WNBA. Let me tell you something. When the NBA started, there's 30 teams in the NBA, right? They started with, I believe, like 8 to 12 or something like that. It was tough sledding. Tough. You might play the same team 8 times in one season. There was a beginning. And then the WNBA, you know what? They're 20 plus years in the making now. And that's how long it's taken for this team to get to the level that they're at, this organization, excuse me, to get to the level they're at right now. It is unbelievable. If you're a basketball fan, there's no way you can watch the WNBA and say that this is not good. There are probably 20 to 25 legitimate all-stars in this league. Have you seen Sabally play? Satu Sabally of the Dallas, I guess, Wings? She's a female version of Jason Tatum. Scored 43 points this year, 6'5", lefty. Shoot it from 3, post up. Beautiful. They got some ballers in that league, you know, and they're going to be on television throughout the weekend. If you have not watched a WNBA game, or you know, you got some free time, casually watch a game. I think you'll be hooked. Give these women the respect that they deserve. They deserve it, man. They are really, really good. Sabrina Ionescu is my favorite player. I think a teammate of Sabally at the University of Oregon, I believe, if I remember correctly. I love Ionescu. She plays like Steve Nash to me, but she's a little more physical. You know, I love her game. Love it. So, there was a quote also about Serena Williams' husband, and he's trying to get Serena back on the circuit, man. I love that. I love the fact that this championship or bust mentality is starting to fade away. And maybe she's getting back to the love of the game. She has nothing to prove to anybody. She's 41. If you want to play tennis, go play. You're still probably going to win some tournaments. Maybe not the biggies. And, you know, I mean, she had to be inspired by young Coco. I mean, I don't believe in putting an age on people. You are this age, so you can't do this. That is absurd. The question is, are you willing to do the work? Whatever it is, if it's hosting a radio show, if it's being a chef, if it's playing professional sports, if it's being the best computer programmer in the world, the best teacher, you know, whatever you want to do, to allow somebody to stop you from trying to achieve your aspirations is crazy. Don't do it. All right? Like I said, we're going to run it down really, really quickly. I think I touched on quite a few things. I touched on the NBA, Golden State Warriors. You know, big up to Mike Dunleavy Jr. so far. I love the Warriors roster. I like their roster. I also like the Sacramento Kings roster. There are some incredible teams in the NBA. There really are. This is going to be a war this NBA season, figuratively, all right? I know people are dying around the world, so not an actual war, a figurative war in sports, all right? I'll be back on Sunday night talking about what transpired in the NFL and certainly in college football. We're hoping that, at least I am, I'm hoping that Colorado wins tomorrow. That sets up an incredible potential battle between Colorado and Oregon up in that wonderful state. And, you know, the second road game for Colorado, but the first game against, TCU's a big-time component, but I think Oregon's even better because they have a better offense, all right? They got a solid defense. A lot of big boys up front, so Colorado's going to have to really work to defeat the Ducks. And I don't know if they can. I just want to see a great game. But both coaches are kind of heating it up, talking a lot of smack. You can visualize the networks once again, jumping on board. The game's already set for 12:30 in the afternoon on ABC. But that could change. That could change into a primetime slot, because if Colorado is 3-0 and Oregon is 3-0, you're talking about millions of eyeballs locked into that particular game. We'll touch on the NFL on Sunday night. You can certainly be on the lookout for another In the Dungeon show on Sunday nights at 9 o'clock. We'll go at least an hour, maybe longer, to see how the flow of the show is. But, as I said before, the most important thing is energy and passion. And I've had so much fun. I did what I wanted to do. Got on for 30 minutes and just set the table for all you sports fans out there for the weekend. All right? I'm going to do my thing and get out of here. Success and getting paid is a manifestation of the whole process. If you as an individual don't do things to help other people make their lives better, as far as I'm concerned, you haven't done nothing. All right? Hit the subscribe button. We need you, all right, to build on the algorithm for this wonderful program, In the Dungeon program. And hit me up on X, Twitter, if you do not already follow me. Be safe. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you on Sunday night. I'm Frank Red. Peace.